Vanessa Lee has struggled all her life with her Hmong identity as the culture and its history have gone widely unknown to America.
Even when I say I'm Hmong, they have no idea what that is.
While growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood in Syracuse, no one knew what Hmong was.
It always used to be like a game, like a guessing game. It's like, what's your race? And I'm just like, guess. And in my head, I know that they're not gonna get it. And they name every other Asian race, and I'm just like, it's not me. And then I say Hmong, and then they're just like, well, what's Hmong?
What many don't know is that the Hmong people are a hidden part of U.S. history. Originally one of the indigenous groups of China, the Hmong began to migrate south around the 1800s due to the oppression by Imperial China. They became an ethnic minority in Southeast Asia who were roped into a U.S.-involved war. The CIA secretly entered Laos in 1961 to prevent the spread of communism, and so the secret war began.
And so instead of using American troops in countries of Laos, they trained the Hmong to fight as surrogate soldiers of the American armed forces.
Everything was kept a secret.
The president, the CIA, and the ambassador or State Department knew about the war, and very few people in Congress knew about the war. They didn't know much about it until 1972, when a reporter wrote a story about America bombing the country of Laos and bombing Cambodia.
Zhang says that after Congress found out about the war, they stopped the funding for the operation. The CIA pulled out of Laos, the communist faction took over, and the Hmong people were now seen as the enemies.
During the war, 30,000 or so Hmong were captured, killed, or missing. And after the war, it is estimated over 50,000 people died trying to escape the country of Laos into Thailand as refugees.
My parents and grandparents are among those who survived. Although Vanessa and I aren't related, our families share similar experiences.
A part of my identity definitely feels lost.
This is the Mekong River, where many Hmong people died while crossing into Thailand for the camps. My parents were only kids running for their lives through Laos. My grandmother lost 3 children, one of which they had to leave in the jungle after being born for only a few hours. Vanessa and I are a testament of our family's survival, something others did not initially think would come true.
The resettlement policy did not include the Hmong people because they didn't think that the Hmong people would be able to survive in America.
Today, my home state of Minnesota has the largest urban Hmong population, but Syracuse only has a handful.
Probably less than 20 families. So, yeah. So now it's just the Lees and the Vangs, that's it.
The two
clans? The 2 clans, yes. It's really hard to keep a tradition when you don't have, that stuff going on,
There are small ways where the Lee family continues the Hmong culture, cooking and displaying Hmong story cloths or pandao in her home. They tell the story of the Hmong people.
My parents and, my great-grandparents, that's what they did back in the days in their country. So, harvesting, wheat and rice and, yeah.
While today in America, younger Hmong generations are given the opportunity to chase their wildest dreams, like Sunisa Lee, who is the first Hmong USA gymnast and athlete.
It's like some sort of acknowledgement and recognition, because now I can say like, yeah, here's this amazing Hmong woman who did something and made something of herself, and I am like of her tribe in a way.
Vanessa loves when her mom cooks Hmong food and even wants to learn the language.
There are certain things that I very much care about in the Hmong culture that I can parse out, and that is the food. I love the language. I feel like the language is something I can work on.
Which Zhang hopes younger generations will keep alive.
The language is the most important piece, because if you lose the language, you lose the culture. You lose the culture, you lose the history. And you lose the history, then you lose your identity.
Something Central New York Hmong families hope doesn't happen. In Syracuse, I'm Pajong Lee with NCC News.